I know I've carried on some about religion and the aspects of the tithes and the accountability end of watching how the money from the tithes gets applied to the work of Jesus Christ. But when you look at some of these places, you can see it as disgraceful, distasteful, and basically taking advantage of the ignorant. I'm going to give you an example right here locally because it was told to me through Diane Tucker and Helen Ruth Akers that the Corwin Pentecostal Church back at around 1994 decided to apply its tithes to a man who's a reverend out in Morrow, Eric Perky, to send him and his family to Disney World when it could have been applied for studies on leukemia, Lou Gehrig's disease, Alzheimer's, cancer, or many other things at Children's Medical Center. That would be more in line with the work of Jesus. I take a look at concrete pillars on the side of 75 and I think about the Bishop family. I think about how they live sort of a lavish lifestyle for people doing the work of Jesus, like Mother Mary, Mother Teresa, and many more. The job of every Christian should be to better the world for our children. These tithes that these churches bring in, especially Benny Hinn, Joel Osteen, and the big ones, have to have some kind of government filter. They should be taxed if they're going to run it like a business and not apply it to the work of Jesus, which is laid out in the Mothers of Mercy 3.2 Act. Humanitarian efforts, not to be applied to television contracts, signs that are three-sided on the sides of the highways sold out of Clinton County, when there's not a person merchandising on it. It tells you a message from God. That's not what we need. We have the manual. It's located in every motel room across the nation. What it needs to be, these tithes, is applied to end ignorance, to feed the hungry, and to welcome the hopeless who are being pushed out of their homes because of things like NAFTA not being correctly applied, while businesses take the approach of capitalism to a place that needs more of a socialist concept. What I mean by that, socialism is when the government has programs that take care of you. And we have to move towards that in this country and on this continent because of the massive difference between the lifestyle of the average American family and the average American Latino family. See, they don't have a middle class. And that's where capitalism has to relax and help fund these programs that should be initiated by the United Nations in places like Mexico City, where there are people literally starving to death. You can look at places in Africa where people are starving to death. You can see them being pushed out by the communist regime in Moscow and dying on what could only be described as a modern-day Trail of Tears. This is a religious calling, a responsibility for all churches to participate along with the Red Cross in finding a solution to this extortion of these human beings. And a great place to start doing it is at our social gatherings, where we can educate people on how to apply the help financially, the help through propaganda and literature, to reach out to these people instead of building walls like we don't care about our neighbors. It's one of the 10 Commandments, love thy neighbor. If they're starving and they're in so much distress as a people that they're coming through the rivers risking being shot by police and everything else, is it not in a Christian's heart to say, we will not vote for anything that will impede Jesus Christ's miracles to be performed for these people who are seeking refuge? I don't have to get into the whole Donald Trump theory here. A man who was legendary for building investments like the Mirage, and how that can be applied to the extortion of addicts, like gambling addicts, through his casinos, or the families that were pushed out as he renovated real estate adventures in New York and New Jersey. But what I can do is provide a different avenue or a different approach to each person who listens to this message about how to educate the person who's failing in the system provided. I have on my pages posted the phone numbers for people to find transportation, to find food and shelter, and to find services like mental health, like addiction counseling, that can better improve their chances of success in today's America. But to do this for the Mexican people has to come from an act of Congress, or it has to come through the initiation of the United Nations to address a problem that's destroying our continent, which is obviously the immigration problem going on in Texas and California. Please be aware and share. Thank you.